Good morning, good evening. There are sights to be seen within the Awesomenauts Rumbles Double Tournament. It's myself, Devmon, with Uberanzi.
Hello.
Here to cast some double tournaments today. So Uberanzi, how's the tournament doing? What is the tournament, and what are we looking at?
Well, for anyone that's just joining in, we've already had 2 streams regarding this tournament, the Awesomenauts Doubles Rumble Tournament, or the Awesomenauts Rumble Doubles Tournament. It doesn't really matter too much. But we've had 2 streams already, which were the round-robin style qualifiers, in which you got points in order to try and get into the playoffs, which we are going to be casting today and streaming today, with plenty of very high-skill teams. And out of the 81 teams that have entered this tournament, we've got 17 in the playoffs. So a pretty big gap, and there's definitely going to be some really good players in this tournament.
That's fair enough. Would we like to start with the first match by going into the drafts then?
Absolutely. In this first match, we have got Team Dave versus Team PlayingToDie. Would you like to get started on the drafts for us, Devon?
Sure. So on Team Dave, we have a first ban of Froggy, followed up by a counter ban of Penny and Jimmy in the Luck Spot. Furthermore, there's a ban of Coco and Scoldier, again from Team Dave, and finally the last ban for PlayingToDie is Lone Star. And would you like to discuss the picks? Because I believe there's an interesting combination afoot.
We've got 2 very different teams here, but we'll start with Team Dave here with the Swiggins and the Scoop. Managing to get the Swiggins pick first and actually get a second Scoop pick, which is pretty interesting, but you know, it's doubles, so the meta can be a lot different, but you know, you've got very beefy, just sort of pretty classic, just beefy initiator knots. They can get the job done. They're very solid. They are not a bad pick in any way, really, no matter what, as long as you've got like some good teamwork to back it up, because you can lock them down, and even with the lack of really insane like burst, like say something like a nuke or something like a Ksenia, in order to really deal that damage, you've still got plenty of solid damage and plenty of lockdown and initiation in order to secure those kills. But we've got a completely different team on PlayingToDie, probably regarding the fact that it's a doubles tournament, and they've got a very push-heavy sort of crowd control, or not crowd control, excuse me, area control heavy team with the Gnaw and the Leon. And Gnaw's damage, as some people may have seen, is really good. It is, if applied right and used like properly, you can get the plant slam damage, or the overgrowth, I believe is the upgrade called, and just do tons and tons of damage with your Wheedling burst, and do like 500 damage times 2. And then you've got Leon here with the silence pull, some good push with that tower damage, and plenty of damage to help clean up those kills. You know, you pull someone into the amp damage spit or the slow spit or both, and then they've got all these Wheedlings attacking them, and then you got Leon chasing with a really nice hardy auto attack, and Gnaw applying all that DOT. Even solid tanks or enemies with a lot of healing like Scoop are going to have a serious issue getting out of that.
I concur. That sounds just about right. And just as a reminder, because I've forgotten to say it, you can go ahead and you can actually put bets into the chat. So remember to either type red or blue on the team that you will think will win this match to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, if you type red or blue into the chat and the team that you picked win, you will have a chance to get a free DLC for Awesomenauts. You have until the gameplay transfers to the screen transfers to the gameplay screen to put in your bets. So you've got a few seconds here, but I think we're about ready to switch gameplay right now, actually.
We are not, because I think we should talk about the bracket a little bit more. So I don't remember if you covered this or not, but how many teams did we start with from the tournament?
I did cover this, but we had 81 teams at the start of the tournament, and now we've got 17 in the playoffs, which I think will give you just a good idea of the number. But is there anything I missed that's urgent?
We can talk about the 17 teams that entered and are currently fighting if you like, just because that's something that's kind of amazing. 17 teams of 81. So we've got actually some big names. Are there any teams that you're looking forward to seeing?
Well, there's a couple of teams that, well, there was one team in particular that I like seeing, mostly because I think someone who plays a lot of TED is on that team. Unless I'm mistaken, PewDiePie Fan Club was had Shiz on the team, and I love seeing Ted's play. And it was fun to watch their matches, and it was the first couple of matches in the tournament. So, it got me into wanting to cast this tournament, and I thought that was cool. But you got PewDiePie Fan Club, and then you got some pretty big teams too. You've got American Mojo, who have made it to round 2 of this bracket here, and it's just you've got plenty of really good teams, and there's a couple that I'm looking forward to casting. But do you have anything you want to say about these teams? Anything in particular that interests you?
Basically, not really that much. I think we've seen these teams before, and I think if anybody's turned it into the last few weeks for the streams, they pretty much know what to expect, and I think it's more exciting matches this week as well. So with all that being said and done, I think we're ready to start the game.
Alright, on to the game here. Would you like me to give you a countdown at the 15-second mark, change it up a little, to start introducing the characters?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and give me the countdown, and we'll go ahead and tell who's playing who on what. Alright,
3, 2, 1, go!
So, welcome to Serona, the map that eats your dreams with a giant worm in the center. On the teams, we have Spade playing your Swiggins, we have Ubi playing that delicious yellow Roboscoop. Yorv is playing your Gnaw, and you've got Shiz playing that Leon, so no Ted in this game. However, there's going to be a lot of plant slam damage going on. And early game pickups right now to basically note anything. Gnaw's piggy banked into Boots for that extra mobility, and you have Leon picking up the Silence Tongue instead of Stealth, who was actually going to get hooked by the anchor and held out, but the weed in the center bush is going to be able to protect him, and the red team's going to have to back off. Blue team has a solid advantage right now, holding that bush with Gnaw, and they're going to control the area for most of the game.
Absolutely. So we're seeing pretty standard stuff coming out as the starting upgrades. You've got the bank into Boots as Gnaw. I'm not sure how viable it is because I don't really play Gnaw that much, but still that little extra mobility can help a lot. But Shiz doing a bit of damage to Ubi here. Not too much happening. Just trying to get that area control because, you're playing Gnaw. Area control is one of your biggest points. You can steal those creeps as he's doing right now, actually. You can take control of that mid on Serona. Having the area control on such a large sort of hard to traverse map like Serona is definitely a huge advantage for just keeping your team, keeping the push on. And if you manage to get a kill or two, or even wipe while you have that area control, you are going to take a tower. And on Serona, that is huge. Taking a tower on Serona is some serious business.
In addition to that, the blue teams opted to not push the button from the Worm Solar right now. It seems like they're trying to control the area as much as possible, and just basically harass the droids. Red team, on the other hand, is free to farm the droid Solar as much as possible, and they will be using that worm trick, basically trying to get themselves ahead, which is especially good considering that you get really big power specs from Swiggins as well as Scoop. Gnaw kind of stays the route until he gets his amp and the plant damage, but it'll take him a little while to get there, especially since he's being banked into Boots right away.
That's very true. Amp damage on Gnaw is very strong, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of the first upgrades he goes for. The CC on Gnaw is pretty good too, being able to get that 30% slow, but he's taking a bit of damage here. Doesn't actually get hit by the binding there, but he's still taking a lot of damage. Hits the anchor drop or the anchor hook, but Shiz is actually going to eat the anchor drop, and he's going to be able to get out, possibly. They're chasing him. Is he going to have anchor hook? Oh, he hits it with it, but the hammer just misses. He has 4 health. Gets away with 4 health, and Jorv is also able to get away, but he's kind of baiting out the team. Spade actually doesn't hit the anchor hook again, but Jorv is going to take so much damage just from other stuff like auto attacks and the hammer. He's very hurt. He's got to be careful. Able to grab that health back though, and Shiz is back to help his teammate here. Spade having to teleport back while Ubi is by himself, and Scoop is not that good at stopping pushes. He's very beefy, and he's good at initiating. He's great with his team, but stopping pushes is not one of his strong suits due to his weak auto attack and longer cooldowns. But it looks like the blue team isn't exactly pushing, well, for a push here too hard, so red team's going to be able to get back in there and fight a little more. But Jorv's going to get hit by the anchor drop, going to take a bunch of damage, taking the Swiggins auto attack, and he's actually going to go down to the sword strike from Ubi. But Ubi's taking a lot of damage too. This might be a trade. They're both so hurt. Shiz wants to go in, but he's going to get eaten anchor hook if he's not careful. There's the silence, but he's going for it. He's going for the anchor hook. Oh, no, he's not going to go for it. Going to steal that creep and run away with his life. But Shiz, oh man, he's still going in. He's still going on the silence tongue. He's got 150 health, 160 health. That regen just doing a little bit of work. But now Shiz is in an awful spot, even though Spade is really low. But he's going to be able to get out of there, doing a little bit of damage to Ubi, getting that invis to fake him out, and he's going to teleport back. Oh, no, he's going to grab these creeps and stick with Jorv.
Now, speaking of Jorv, he's actually picked up an interesting upgrade. Now, I don't see a lot of people pick up Split Spit. Usually you get your amp, you usually get damage, you usually get slow, but he's actually opted for Split Spit early on. Any reasons for that?
If I remember correctly, aside from covering more ground when you someone runs over it or gets hit by it, and getting hit by it is the important part. It will actually, when you run over it, split into the 2 extra pieces of spit there, which I believe can actually reapply the amp damage, because amp damage has to be applied by directly hitting an enemy with spit, not by walking over it, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but...
That's correct, actually.
Yeah. Oh, but he's actually going to go down. Wow.
Guess not a good day for Yorv. He's just getting picked down by the CC, and that's fantastic for the the red team there. If he hadn't piggy banked, I'd recommend Baby Carry Mouth in a lot of situations. Get rid of that snare, give yourself a chance to get other things, and perhaps opt for early plant slam damage to get rid of the anchor drop.
Indeed, and plant slam is definitely going to be something he picks up. If he doesn't, then that's just not how you play Gnaw, especially in this doubles, scenario with 2 high health enemies. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. Split. It's going to cover more ground. It's going to apply the amp damage even if they walk over it kind of indirectly, because they're going to get hit by the new spit that pops up. And that's going to help a lot in team fights, because there's just so much ground they have to avoid. But Jorv's going to take another anchor drop and another anchor hook. He's taking a hammer. He's so hurt. He's going to be able to get out of there. He's just grabbing those crepes, but Shiz is just kind of here trying to maybe bait out Team Dave, do a little bit of damage, but Ubi's going to have to heal that off with the bindings, try to hit Shiz with it, but nothing happens. Shiz just camping with the invis up here, trying to get maybe a pull in something on someone like Spade with their half health, Spade... Or more, I should say, Swiggins. Oh, never mind. Who cares? Wow, he's just gonna get thrown around like a frickin' just a bouncy ball. Just gets anchor drop and hits the jump pad and gets hit by the bindings. It's just bang, 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 pinball, bouncy ball, whatever you want to say. He's out of there.
We can see that Ubi's going to go underneath where even though Leon's right around, playing a little bit risky, but still wants that slower. It's actually quite nice that he's got a snow shovel early on. It's a nice heal and hammer upgrade, and it's been doing its work, basically. He's been able to stay alive in a lot of fights. We have some other interesting pickups. We have Shiz picking up his, basically, Spike Tongue Piercing for extra burst damage against Awesomenauts, which is basically his plan. And Nas grabbing Rabbit Teeth, which is a fantastic speed up for biting targets, and perhaps arguably a little bit strong at the moment. And given where he's going with that, it makes sense to bite people, apply the amp, and then just go on ham with that burst damage. Otherwise,
yes.
Something we neglected to say, Swiggins has his full burst damage, and it looks like they're basically the team strategy there is just hit with abilities and combo as much as possible, which is not bad given their squishiness. Proves well against Jorv, who's going to get that anchor drop and just be left at low HP after a good hammer into anchor dive.
I think a big part of a Team Dave's strategy here is just going to be one word: beef and damage, as Jorv is going to go down to the anchor hook after a nice hook from Spade, able to get out of there as well. But the beef squad is actually going to get a lot of health. They're very very solid high health enemies. Swiggins isn't quite a tank, but Scoop is, just because of his nice regen and also high health, a little higher than Swiggins. But they've got regen on Swiggins. You've got the heal hammer, which is just a ridiculously strong upgrade for a hammer if you want to sacrifice something like snare duration or maybe damage, which is acceptable considering that you mostly use it for the snare and the lockdown anyways. But Shiz going to actually lock down Shiz there, or Spade going to lock down Shiz. Shiz is not going to lock down himself. I'm getting my words mixed up, and he's going to take a little damage and teleport out of there. Well, Team Dave is maybe going to try and make a push here, but you've got those readlings being annoying. Jorv does not have the plant slam damage or the overgrowth yet, but Jorv is actually going to take a lot of damage, eat the hammer, going to eat the sword strike as well, and go down. Another kill for Ubi, making him 4-0, and Swiggins has gotten a kill, and poor Jorv really showing that Gnaw stereotype of going 0-5.
Well, some Gnaws do well, some Gnaws do poorly. I think this situation against Swiggins and Scoop, they've got the pure CC and lockdown to really hold down Gnaw, and one Gnaw's advantages is just he's really hard to hit in a lot of cases. He's really mobile. If you take that away from him, he's actually fairly squishy. So that's actually a really good counter pick on the red team's part.
Yeah, I think if you want to pick Gnaw, it seems like they were kind of planning for it because, it's Serona, and Gnaw is very strong in doubles, and in general, he's pretty unexplored, and he's quite a strong Gnaw. You definitely want to try and ban some of those lockdown characters, because if we look at I'm just looking at the drafts here again, their ban specifically, the only real character I could call lockdown in any way was maybe Lux. Well, not really, but you've got the Charge / Bull from Lux and Lone Star, but those aren't probably the best bans considering you're trying to pick the Gnaw, so I feel like they should have banned Scoop and or Swiggins just to help assist Gnaw so that he can do those hit and run tactics that just makes him so strong.
Which is fair enough. In terms of upgrades being purchased right now, Chainsaw on Leon, which is an upgrade you actually don't see very often. You usually see Backstab, Lifesteal, but Chainsaw add-on, extra damage against Awesomenauts, is being picked up currently. In addition, Swiggins is going for a cooldown and a stun on the anchor, looking for very strong single target anchors, which is something you don't usually see, but then again, this is doubles, which is a format that doesn't favor AoE as much as, say, the triple battles that you normally used to. In addition to this, Scoop has actually picked up a suit of pills to bulk himself up, as well as Banner with the triple scoop to apply a little bit more damage. And we see here that Diorv has actually opted for not amp, not slow, not anything else. It's actually drip and split.
I feel like he's going for a very annoying build due to the amount of platforms in the mid of Sirona. They want to stall out this mid if they can. They want to stop the towers from getting taken for a while until they can get some serious ground and solar, and they want to hold this down with the, you know, the spit being able to go through platforms and the split spit. That's a lot of ground that can be covered, and Ubi's going to have some TOT here, but he's able to grab these creeps and get away. A little bit of skirmishing here and there, but nobody's going to die from it just yet. But we've also got another, I'd say a smart upgrade considering the circumstances and considering the format we're playing here, is cooldown on Anchor Hook. Because you don't want the AoE on Anchor Hook, because it's only 2 people, it's not as valuable, though still definitely a strong and acceptable upgrade compared to cooldown. Cooldown is going to, abilities are a lot more valuable in doubles is what I'm trying to say, so the cooldown on Anchor Hook is going to let him have, you know, he can miss those anchor hooks every now and then because he's going to be able to have, you know, 4.7 second cooldown on anchor hook, which is ridiculous considering it actually does quite high damage and has a solid stun on it.
Yeah, I would say so. In addition, fun fact, if you grab the duration upgrade for anchor drop, as well as the cooldown for anchor dive, you can anchor dive, drop, wait for the cooldown to be down, and then get your anchor back to do another dive right after. That's not something I think you're expecting to see, just because anchor duration, not usually something to happen. Red team's going back to purchases, and blue team's going to have an opportunity to push if they take advantage.
You've also got to watch out for something about Swiggins, and with that strategy you just said, although it could be very surprising, Swiggins is a massive money sink. He takes, I feel like, more considerably than other knots, especially from experience, he takes a lot of getting going in order to, well, get going. He initiates well, his lockdown is superb, but he's a little dangerous at farming because his good, you know, farming auto attack, like his melee is slow and has very close range, so he could get picked off while he's trying to farm or something. And a lot of the time he won't get the last hits on kills. He actually has more money here than Scoop, but that might just be because of the piggy bank and Scoop did not. So, you know, banking in Swiggins is probably a, like, well, not probably, it's usually a very, very good idea just because of his, you know, it's a little harder for him to get cash.
It is. And speaking of cash, he might... Oh, he actually gets some. Yorv gets picked off of an anchor dive right next to the turret, and Spade was almost going to go down. We have Leon's trying to get through, but being body blocked. Spade is invisible on HP, and Shiz is going to survive that anchor dive, as well as the anchor drop damage, the snap damage right afterwards. Not a lot of damage, but in some cases might be able to secure a kill. In terms of Swiggins, I can actually say that Piggy Bank is good if you want to go for just a Law Burst early on. One strategy that a lot of people don't explore is actually stacking Krill Biscuits. Oh, they actually might have to wait. Dave is, sorry, Spade's actually low HP, going to have to back off again. Moving pretty well, and blue team's back at base, whereas Leon's going to have to go back to base for more HP. So, like I was saying before, stacking Boots and Krill Biscuits allows your ink to basically chase everyone. It's pretty substantial.
It's very true. Boots is usually like not a very popular upgrade, especially on Swiggins, but if you have even just normal Krill Biscuits in itself, it makes you very fast, so Swiggins can get those cleanups, because his auto attack, he's got some serious potential with all of his abilities. They just take money, which I've definitely said way too much at this point, but either way, he takes a lot of money to get going, but his auto attack is insane, doing 200 damage per swing thereabouts. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Who cares about that? Because Ubi is going to go down to Jorv, the first kill for team PlayingToDie. So that's going to help a lot because their top turret and their bottom turret, front and top bottom turrets, have gone down. And on Sirona, that's a big deal. Oh my goodness, Shiz is going to go down to Spade. I wasn't even paying attention. I was trying to talk about like map strategies. Oh my god! What is that? Doubles! And Spade is going to get the double kill on Sirona, and just, but he's going to have to make a bit of a push here. But looks like the bottom turret here is going to go down to Spade as he's clearing and getting that insane double kill, getting him that money that he needs in order to get those nice upgrades. Got 442 solar in his pockets, grabbing a bit more from these creeps. Shiz misses the pull, kind of choked there and did not get the pull that he needed on Spade, just to like tell him to bugger off and go away. Well, they've got a big push on the bottom turrets here while Jorv is trying to go in. He doesn't have the amp damage, and he doesn't have the slow or anything like that to really assist with the insane spit that he has. He just needs, like, he can't get Amp in slow, but I feel like Amp would be the smarter decision here so that they can just melt these tanks here. But he's actually got Wild Growth, not Overgrowth, but Wild Growth is what I was looking for here. That is going to increase the base damage of placing Weedlings by a very large amount, which is going to make him do tons of burst damage if he can get in close with that Rabbit Teeth. But he doesn't have the Amp damage, which is just so important, I think. And I cannot, like, you know, say that enough. It's a very good upgrade.
Yep, I would agree there. At this point, it's looking a little bit grim for the blue team. I mean, it's Serona, you can't stall, especially with somebody who has the ability to stall like Nah, but that might not change anything because Shiz is actually going to get killed due to the anchor drop and everything else. We have 2 low HP Knots in Ubi, getting hit by those weeds, actually taking down really low, just saying, I don't want to step in that spit because that might actually get me killed. Knots going to be able to effectively defend because weeds actually do a surprising amount of DPS.
Weeds are very difficult to take care of because of the, well, they've got really good regen too, so they're just kind of a nuisance. Unless you've got someone with a really strong auto attack or very fast cooldowns, you can have someone take care of the weedlings like that, but it doesn't matter. They got a bit of a push going here. Plenty of droids, but Shiz is going to be back. Ubi taking a lot of damage, but Spade goes in with the dive, but actually not going to be able to kill anybody. He doesn't have the AoE on dive, otherwise he might have been able to pick off Jorv there and keep this push going. But because the blue team has to go back, it looks like that's what they're doing. But Shiz is going to go in, but he's going to pull the wrong person. He should have pulled Spade there, but he just misses it, and Spade's actually going to pick up the last hit with the auto attack. Uh-oh, he's got all this DOT on him. The most stressful moment of the game. Play the Sonic Drowning theme. He's going to go down to the DOT from Jorv, getting him another kill, making him 2 for 7. Finally starting to pick up those kills again. Going to go in against Ubi, though. Takes a lot of damage from that hammer and those bindings. But he's got the Plant Slam, but he's so hurt. I don't think he hit the Plant Slam there, and Ubi's got so much health, and there's the hammer. He misses! Jorv is just trying to run away. He's just baiting Ubi here, just like trying to get him to chase him. And then there's the pull from Shiz. Jorv is not going to be able to continue with that. Continue with the chase, or the bait is what I'm trying to say, being the bait. And Shiz is going to pull him and try to get a little bit of damage on Ubi. But he's not going to do anything with it. Grab his health back and clear these droids, you know. But they're still pushed back, or team PlayingToDie is still pushed back to their back turret here. So it's a bit stressful for them.
We can see here that Dave is actually going to go in and follow that damage. Now it's going to have to back off once again, taking too much damage in this fight to really do anything significant, which is rather unfortunate. At this point in the game, it seems like blue team's about to lose their last turret, and maybe just game point for the red team. Is there anything that the blue team can do to really come back from this, besides maybe die right here and have their tower lost?
Well, if Shiz could pick up this kill. Oh, is the DOT going to get him Spade? The Sonic Drowning theme really applies now. Just, I don't know I don't remember the tune for it exactly, but you know, but he's going to live because of that regen. Regen is love, regen is life. And Spade just chipping away at this tower, but Jorv is going to be able to get back very soon here. But something I wanted to mention before is Jorv still doesn't have amp damage, which will really help with his damage and helping with the team fights, you know, especially since his spit is so easy to hit with all of the upgrades he's gotten for it. But he's actually not going to hit the anchor drop on him. Spade is going to get that health back, but Jorv throws a Weedling in the wrong direction and actually lets Spade go. Kind of unfortunate there, a bit of a choke there, but either way, Jorv's got to clear these droids while Shiz is getting fought by Ubi here, taking a lot of damage from bindings. If Scoop's got some money, he is a monster. Even though he doesn't normally have that much damage, he is a monster once he's got his upgrades. It's just they built their... All of Team Dave is like very money-heavy characters, but they've got that money. They've been fed, and they are very, very scary and Awesomenauts right now. But oh, Jorv is going to eat the Super Droid missile and get taken down by Ubi's auto attack. And Shiz taking the hammer. The anchor hook and the anchor drop do not hit Shiz, but he's so hurt. We got the Super Droid here. With 2 bars left on the base, Shiz is going to be able to do anything, and that is game. That is a victory for Team Dave.
So it is. And that's only the first game of potential 3 games. So, given what we just saw, what do you think could have happened to change the flow of the match? What could blue team have done to really come back from this?
There's a couple of things that I feel like there were 2 really big issues plus a few other things, but big issues were they did not ban Scoop or Swiggins during the draft. They really should have tried to, you know, make Dave not have those really good like picks against somewhat squishy Nods that don't have like the best burst damage or escape or anything like that, like Nah and Leon. Like, you know, once Leon doesn't have Invis, he is just kind of there. He's just a chameleon, man. But either way, and then the second mistake was Nah did not get amp damage or slow when he really should have, I feel. like there's a few key upgrades to Gnaw that I feel like would have really helped. Like you've got the insane like just spit upgrades that just make it so much like harder to dodge. It's just everywhere all the time. And you got wild growth, but I feel like the amp damage and maybe getting slow or just trying to get some more. Amp damage is the most important thing. I can't stress it enough. Just amp damage, amp damage, amp damage.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think one thing that I would have said is Leon's build, not bad. Silence Tongue and Burst Tongue is good. Chainsaw with Clover is really nice as well, but it almost feels like he spread his damage too far apart. If he had done a consistent DPS build, maybe, or if he just gone for the burst a little bit earlier, might have resulted in more kills.
But yeah, once Team Dave was fed a little bit, I mean, if you just look at their builds here, I'm getting a party invite. If you look at their builds here, Team Dave just has so much money and they've got so many upgrades. I mean, just look at it; it's terrifying. So I feel like that was it was a pretty solid win for Team Dave, and just slightly better draft from PlayingToDie, and I feel like they would have had a much stronger chance. But still, it was a good game, and we actually have some more to show you guys.
Well, we'll see that in the next match, and we'll see if it's basically Team PlayingToDie will come back. So we'll just get to the next game. Hello and welcome back to the Awesomenauts Rumbles Double Tournament. It's me, Devmon again, joined by Uberanzi.
Hi!
And we are back from the first game of today, which was between PlayingToDie as well as Team Dave. Team Dave took it with their composition of Swiggins as well as Scoop against a Leon and a Nah. However, we have something different for this game. Uberanzi, I'll give you 1 second, because I want to mention one more thing, just as I forget. Before we finish drafts and everything, just let you know that you can actually bet inside the chat by taking either red or blue to determine which team you think will win. So in this last game, Team Dave was blue and Team PlayingToDie was red. And in this game, it's reversed. So Team PlayingToDie will be red and Team Dave will actually be blue. So go ahead and bet you've got before the drafts are done to submit your vote. And you can have a chance to win some awesome prizes. All right, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, it's okay, but I think we've got kind of a fun draft here, because we've got the same map, and one of the team's comps is, well, Team Dave literally just took Team PlayingToDie's comp from the last game, so that's kind of interesting. And, well, PlayingToDie was going something different. But either way, let me just start from the beginning here. We've got a Petty ban coming up from Team PlayingToDie, and then a Froggy ban from Dave, coming into a Scoop ban from PlayingToDie, and a Swiggins ban from Dave, banning both of those really strong knots from the last game. And then we have a Ksenia pick for Team PlayingToDie, and a Leon pick for Team Dave, with a Vinny ban coming up for PlayingToDie, and a Coco ban coming out from Team Dave, as well as the final picks of Rocco and Nah. So, what do you think about the teams?
To be honest, I think it's hilarious that Team Dave decided to pick up the comp that Team PlayingToDie was using. I'm really curious to see if it actually works for them. They've got the same map, they've got the same team. If they can beat the other team with their comp, I'll be impressed.
That would be the ultimate BM. The ultimate BM, just taking the enemy's comp that they lost with and using it to win. You can't get more savage than that. So you guys already know about Leon and Nah's comp, but let's just explain it again anyways. Leon and Nah, good area control, good push. Just, you've got to get the right upgrades, and make sure you deal with the heavy CC characters get in the drafts, but still, it can definitely work just because Leon and Nah are definitely quite strong in doubles due to their high single target damage as well as their solid CC and pushing power. And then on Team PlayingToDie, we've got Ksenia and Rocco, so that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of scary damage, and that's a lot of damage that Silence can't really affect. That is kind of scary, because you've got a really heavy damage Ksenia auto attack and Rocco auto attack, so even with Silence on a Leon tongue or a Leon pull, whatever you want to say, it's still so much DPS. And then you've got Ksenia with the scissors and the precision shot from Rocco. They've got tons of range, tons of damage. They don't have the insane area control as Dave might have, but they definitely can. They can kind of control that area just by doing so much damage, as long as they play smart and try not to get too caught out by Leon and Nah, and get comboed straight to hell.
I'd say the advantage of the red team is the fact that Rocco's got so much more range than every single other knot in the game here. Otherwise, Ksenia's insane burst damage works really well in tanks, but in this situation, the burst damage would be enough to take out the squishies, and that self will allow her to scalp bushes and basically position herself in a way that she may be able to flank Leon or even Nah in certain situations. It's going to be interesting to see what the Rocco wants to build, just because typically you get lots of AoE on Rocco and try to compensate for his lack of AoE. But in a doubles format, it might change a little bit. Is there anything else that you wanted to say, Uberanzi?
I think you covered it pretty damn well, so are you ready to get into this matchup?
I am, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we actually have something else going on. So if a person on any team manages to score a double kill, I believe you type in doubles in the chat, and the first person to do so gets some awesome swag. So if somebody gets a double kill, just spam your doubles into the chat and get yourself some awesome stuff.
Another quick stipulation about that, it has to specifically say in the game that someone got a double kill. It cannot be like two people on the team, like they got one kill each or anything like that. It can't be a delayed double kill where it doesn't show up in the actual, like the announcer doesn't say double kill. It has to say double kill in the game. That's the only real stipulation, but either way, if that happens, you just gotta type in doubles and you're good. But either way, I think I'm gonna, once we switch to the game scene here on the stream, I'm gonna count down from 3 for you, Defmon.
Sure, at the 15-second mark. Go ahead and do a countdown there, Uber.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
So, we have Serona again, same map as we saw before, Worm and everything. We have Ubi playing your Na, we have Spade on the Leon, Jorv is playing your Rocco, Electronic Supersonic, and we also have Shiz on the Ksenia. In terms of early pickups, in terms of items, nothing unusual except for Piggy Bank Boots on your, which seems to be a favorite of his. Lots of damage going out. Ubi's going to take a whole bunch of damage, going to have to back off. Spade, take a little bit. Not doing so well. Blue team wants to get that mid control as soon as possible, so they're going to rush for that bush and try to contest as much as possible. There's a invisible worm fight going on, and everybody just backs off. Blue team's going to opt to farm the solar underneath the worm this time, as opposed to the last blue team, who didn't.
Absolutely. So just looking at the starting upgrades here, we've got basic stuff, boots on, bank into boots on Rocco. Honestly, it still seems like a really strong idea, and you're a really strong buy. A really strong idea, but it's a good buy, and it gives him that extra movement speed, which is going to help quite a bit with the chasing and the fighting, and the fact that he's got so much range. It's going to be hard for, I think, especially Ubi to get away from that Rocco auto attack. Even without Vengeance, it's got quite a bit of range.
Indeed. We have Shiz actually really low on HP. Na's going to get the DOT off, and it looks like Shiz is in a poor position. Can Shiz get to the creeps? And not quite, actually. The weed placed up there earlier finishes off Shiz. That was really good placement on Ubi's part, dying the health creeps, which is actually very good for Na to do early on. And in addition to that, just managing to secure the kill with the Weedling itself. Not something that I don't think was counted on, but played out anyways. Spade's in a poor position, low HP, uses the jump pad, combined with the lip technique where you hit the ceiling and push yourself forward faster to get out there effectively. And we see Ksenia's going to opt for early regen, which is, in my opinion, probably the correct move against a Na. Speaking of Na, he's left out alone. Ubi's going to take lots of damage, and he just gets picked off by Yorv's auto attack combined with Ksenia's scissors before he's able to take the jump pads to safety.
Absolutely. You got to be careful when you're just solo pushing against two extremely high damage characters like that. And now Spade is going to be in a bit of a tricky spot here just because of he's against two very high damage characters, and even with Invis he's got to be a bit careful. But either way, looks like Jorv, or excuse me, Ubi, because Jorv was playing all last game, is back and is buying a few nice upgrades, including the bank into boots and rabbit teeth, which is very strong. He's going to be a frickin' he is going to be very reminiscent of a hedgehog. He's going to be very, very fast here with rabbit teeth and boots. But Jorv taking a lot of damage, got that DOT on him. He's going to get the health back though and possibly grab the creep, but it doesn't matter because Shiz is going to go down from Spade, and looks like they're just going to get out of there. But Rocco is going to live to fight another day, and blue team here trying to get a bit of a push, clearing these droids, and well, Jorv is just fighting Ubi here, but he's taking quite a bit of damage. The plant slam, he's going to go for it. Oh, he isn't able to get another one. He doesn't have the parts for it, I believe. And Jorv has got very little health, and he's not able to grab those creeps because the Weedling is actually going to kill them. He's probably going to think and go grab them like right now, but the Weedling's already taken one, so Jorv is going to be low health. He's going to have to teleport back in a second. Looks like this bottom turret for red might actually go down here, but here comes the arrow, and it's going to kill Ubi with that nice supersonic, just whatever the Rocco skin is called, arrow. Just got that music, the beat just dropping all over Ubi and killing him.
It's ESC, so it's Electronic, Supersonic, Cybertronic.
Yes.
Yes, there you go. Anyways, I have to say that it's very interesting to see what the blue team's building, because we saw what blue team built, or the blue team built last game with their comp. In this situation, we don't have the split, we don't have the drip. Na's gone direct for the rabbit teeth, like you said before, and he's got that movement speed that's really stuck up pretty high. Doing really well for them. I think that's a way better decision in this situation than, say, what happened last game.
Looking at the upgrades here, we've got Jorv with the Sticky Cops mustache, which will give him a very nice attack speed bonus after he hits an enemy with precision shots. So that's tons of extra DPS. But you've got to be able to land your shots. But Rocco's auto attack isn't too hard to land, and it's got that nice range. So he's going to have a lot of extra damage because of that. Basic scissor damage coming up from Ksenia. Just one stage of it, however, and then we got Silence, and he just bought Morningstar Piercing for a bit of extra damage on that pull there. With the Silence, it's going to be quite deadly, and Na hasn't bought anything yet, but he's got almost 200 solars, so we might see some amp damage or something coming out soon.
Speaking of damage, that was quite a lot of damage put out by the tongue into this plant slam. I mean, once you have amp going on, if you can amp into a tongue, that's going to be a lot of burst, and I think that's the right decision in this team. The enemy team does not have a lot of bulk to them, Ksenia being actually one of the squishier characters of the game, Rocco not being super mobile and being a little bit more on the frail side. I think the burst is the right choice in this situation. We see Shiz underneath the worm, actually taking some auto attacks. He's got barely any HP. He's going to try to get over there, try to get to the jungle, perhaps get a creep. Nope, he's going to go underneath, and he's going to actually get away, just barely thanks to regen, saving his life there.
Now that was very close, and I'm surprised. Well, he was invisible, but Spade didn't try to go for that YOLO pull there in order to get that last bit of damage he needed. But no new upgrades coming out yet. We've got Joarb just clearing these droids here, while Ubi is just trying to harass with the spit. That is a part of Naw's class. If you look at the character select screen, it said harasser. He is a harasser. He harasses people. He is very mean and says very mean-spirited comments because he's a harasser. But Spade's actually going to go in here with the pull and the auto attack. Joarb taking a lot of damage here, but there's no follow-up from Ubi, so he's going to be able to get away just barely. But it looks like Ubi's going to take these creeps. But Spade's going to try and go for the pull. Misses, and he's got the invis. Ksenia trying to find him and chase him here. Nothing happening yet, though. Tries to get the worm kill, the cheeky worm kill, but it's not going to happen. Spade just getting out of there alive, but Ubi's pretty low health here. But Joarb is even lower health. He's taking so much damage, but because of that bird jump, that high jump, because he's a bird, he is able to jump out of there and get to the creep area and then teleport behind turret to safety.
I mean, it's the best, next best thing to flight, really. And Rocco, as a bird, cannot fly. In order to fly in this universe, you have to be a fish or a monkey. That's just how things go. Otherwise, in terms of upgrades, still everything we've seen before. Burst going off in Shiz. We have basically Rocco going in with the Vengeance to try to slow down that Naw. Naw's going to be able to back off damage inside the bush. Spade misses his tongue, which is unfortunate because that tongue is basically all he's invested into. And speaking of investments, that's maximum burst tongue. He's going to go for as much damage as possible, and that's fair. As I said before, the enemy team, which is the red team, does not have a lot of bulk. They're very squishy characters, so in this situation, having that extra burst basically secures kills more than, say, going for a DPS. See, Vengeance going to go in for Rocco. Rocco's going to be able to take a jump pad, get out of there. Yorb's looking a little bit low. We have Ksenia looking a little bit low. DOT's going to mark where she is while invisible. And red team's actually going to back off. Except for Ksenia decides to go back into the jungle fight. A little bit low on HP, I'd say. Same thing with Spade. Spade's going to be able to teleport out there because it would be body blocking arrows on his behalf, using Rapid Teeth to also get away quite effectively.
As we see, Naw is now teleporting away. Got that 400 solar, and now we've got the Plant Slam build coming in. Wild Growth, both stages of it. Gonna do tons of damage with that Wheedling Burst now. Spade taking a lot of damage though. Shiz is trying to get the scissor, trying to chase. Oh! The bait! The ultimate bait just gets hit by the spit, and then the pull with the maximum burst from Spade and pulled into the turret. You are not going to survive from that, and Spade is going to be able to get all his health back. This bottom turret for red is actually going to go down. It's at like 1 bar, and there's only a couple of... There's nothing there to defend it, just some droids just going to chip it away, as well as Spade and Ubi. But this top turret taking some damage as well. They're trying to melt it. Not quite melting status, but it is taking a lot of damage. Jorb's going to get back here and defend. Doesn't have Split Arrow, but he does have Vengeance. And he does actually have Diffused Hawk Bomb, so he's going to be able to throw out those precision shots a lot more. Tries to get one on Spade, but he's able to go invis and get away. But Ubi does get picked off by the Rocco by chasing him with the Vengeance. But top turret almost dead, and I don't think Team PlayingToDie here is going to be able to make that much of a push. So it was still really well played by Team Dave.
Yeah. And right now we can see that Naw's actually got a build that I like. I mean, last game, no offense to Yorv there, but he didn't have a lot of pressure. He didn't have a lot of damage. He just had a lot of AoE consistent damage taking against the team that bought regens, against Scoop who had the sustain. It wasn't as effective as it could have been. Right now you've got Amp, you've got Rapid Teeth, you've got the burst damage from Weeds. I think that's pretty much the trifecta you need on Naw to really do well. You see here.
Yeah, once you have these like 3 important Naw upgrades, he is an absolute beast at dealing with squishy characters and chasing. But Shiz is actually going to get the pick on Spade, but the top turret for red team is going to go down with Ubi kind of low health. He might try to go in, going to get that worm farm, and his droids are going to make it through safely. Got that very skillful button pressing. You know how it works.
Are you talking about jumping on the button or pressing the button to jump on the button? 2 different button presses. Otherwise, I think something interesting to note is that Leon's picked up Slow Blade. That's not an upgrade I see very often, although I'd argue it's very, very powerful in the right situations, which is to say, most situations, actually. What do you think about Slow Blade on Leon right now?
Well, it used to be a 25% slow, or 26, I can't actually remember exactly what it was, 26, but it was a very strong... Yes, 26% slow on an auto attack, especially on a character like Leon. That's strong. So I feel like it may have rightfully gotten its nerf, but it wasn't that popular to begin with, usually, but it was still a very good upgrade, and it still is. 20% slow after getting both stages, and it's rather cheap. It can be quite nice if you're not planning on, beefing up your auto attack too often. It could be some nice early game utility if you feel like the game might end earlier, but it doesn't matter because Jorv is going to chase Spade with that auto attack here. Jorv also trying to chase Ubi, gets the precision shot, doesn't have the AoE in order to steal the creeps from him or anything. Oh, but Ubi's going to take a lot of damage from Shiz, and he's going to go down. That's both of Team Dave dead. No double kill or anything yet, so hold your doubles, but it looks like Rocco here trying to clear these droids here to stop any kind of, backdoor push here on this bottom turret here from the droids in order to, save the health. It's going to help and it's going to matter later on, but Shiz clearing these droids at the mid area, trying to get some ground, but it looks like Spade is already back clearing these droids, and now Shiz knows he's there. He's trying to get something low invis, but he's going to be able to, well, it's more, he's not going to be able to do anything, and he's going to just run away there, but Shiz taking a lot of damage, got the amp damage on him. The pull is going to do a lot of damage, but here comes Jorv with the retaliation. Ubi taking a lot of damage. Shiz is going to grab the creep area from Team Dave. We'll grab Team Dave's creeps. Oh, he almost gets the nice pull on Shiz there. That was very close. If Shiz has gotten hit by that, that would have been it for him, I imagine. That was a really good pull from, or a really good attempt at a pull from Spade, but it would have been amazing. I don't know why I'm congratulating a miss, but either way, we've got Team Dave pushed back to their turrets now. Well, Team PlayingToDie starts to get a bit of a push on finally.
Yeah, I'd say it's actually kind of surprising because Blue Team has basically had it in their pocket for the most part. It seems like they're starting to fall back a little bit now that Red Team's actually picked up some significant damage upgrades. Rocco using Sticky Cop Mustache for the attack speed steroid when landing Precision Shot, and then following up with Defused Hawk Bomb to reduce the cooldown of Precision Shot when landing auto attack. So you've got the 1-2 combo of constantly landing attack speed, Precision Shot. So it's quite interesting there. Otherwise, Quick Draw Bow for Vengeance steroid damage, and I think he's been using that effectively. It's not too much more DPS, but he's been using it really well and popping Vengeance at the perfect times. Otherwise, Nas picked up Boots and is actually going to probably get some kills. Yorv's going to run away. He's got the amp damage and no top turret, means there's no barrier to protect him from being killed there. So Dave is able to pick up the auto attack damage, and while Ksenia's basically at base, buying herself a Bobcat.
Well, it looks like Team Dave here is going to make a bit of a push here on this back turret finally, but it looks like it's, well, Shiz is still alive and he can do a lot of damage, especially with that Bobcat doing a lot of damage. Misses that last scissor though, but Dave is going to go down because of the low cooldown on scissors isn't able to throw down another, giving Shiz a killing spree, while Spade tries to maybe bait out Shiz, try to get, if he's able to pick him off here, then he will be able to push this bottom turret and do a ton of damage, but it's not going to happen, and Jorv is already back in order to just annihilate the enemy with his long range, high damage auto attack. But first he's got to clear these droids here while Spade teleports back and gets Chainsaw add-on, completing his auto attack set for damage, having one stage of all of his auto attack upgrades.
Oh, and speaking of other upgrades, we have Tentacle Soup for Nas, something that we didn't see last game, but I think is going to be very much appreciated this game. The little bit of slow combined with Leon's slow and auto basically his blade, that's going to lock down Ksenia a lot more than she'd normally want to be locked down, which is going to be exactly the way you want to counter Ksenia. Either burst her down effectively or hold her down so that she's taking so much damage that she will cry. And speaking of damage and crying, it looks like the blue team's turrets are going to be hitting pretty hard soon. I mean, the plant damage from Nog can do lots of damage to deter them, but it's not going to be a permanent solution unless it gets a kill. We see here that Yorv is going to take a whole bunch of burst damage. DOT going off is picked off by Nas DOT, and it's going to leave Shiz alone. Ubi's going to get crazy aggressive, and unfortunately miss the weed as Ksenia goes back to the tower. Blue team's got the upper hand at the moment and is looking to push back. Meanwhile, the droids in the bottom are really doing a little bit of a number to the blue team tower. They're still really healthy, but given how it is, if the blue team allows the red team to have a team kill or a double kill, that is going to be both the towers gone.
I definitely agree with that, and the turrets down on Serona is so important because it gets you a lot of ground, including being able to just go through the top of, well, the top lane, kind of giving access to a third lane while you're pushing that last turret there on Serona. But Ubi taking a ton of damage, just going to go down to Shiz's Scissor, as well as Jorv's auto attack, just tons and tons of damage. I mean, you've got Ksenia and Rocco, tons of damage, but Spade is actually behind them here with the invis. It's about to go away. He's going to get the pull on Jorv. Maybe he's waiting. He got the pull, and he's got that slow blade. Jorv taking tons of damage. He's actually going to go down, making it a rather fair trade, and it's going to really hinder their ability to push here, this bottom turret, because it's only Shiz here that Spade is still alive, so they got to be careful here. Taking some damage. Shiz is taking some damage, but so is Spade with that, oh, the scissors and the auto attack. Too much. Leon cannot out-damage that because Ksenia's with Bobcat, and especially Fury Blowout, you get a scissor every time you get a third hit with the auto attack here, and Bobcat, that's just very strong. You're gonna have tons of scissors and tons of extra damage for brawling, even though you're kind of squishy. But it looks like Ubi doing a ton of damage to the Plant Slam, and he's gonna go down to the auto attack. Na's gonna have a yummy meal from that. Nom nom nom. But Ubi just trying to get away from Rocco here while he's popped Vengeance, and now it's got that 15-second cooldown here. While Ubi clears these droids, uses the Plant Slam, and is trying to get a couple parts. Maybe they're going to initiate on Jorv here. There's no pull from Leon yet, but is he going to do it? He's getting the slow blade, but Jorv is doing tons of damage to Spade, but it doesn't matter because the clone, the pull, the auto attack, all those abilities doing tons of damage. But now Shiz is just getting back now, so it's not going to be an instant win for Team Dave here, but they're going to be able to maybe have a bit of a push here because Ksenia's got to buy upgrades fast. Getting that extra invis duration as well as a little bit of health here might help with defending, but the invis is going to help too much while Shiz is by himself. He's got a very strong auto attack, but is he going to go down? He's so hurt. Oh, the auto attack and the clone is going to finish him off, and the chainsaw add-on doing tons of damage, but now they're melting. They are officially at melting status, people. Type in your melting turrets or whatever you want. It's melting. It's just turning into goo, and
I can't believe it's not butter.
There it is. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it's not butter. Is that what you just said?
Oh, it's a butter shower. Come on, Ubi, get all that money.
There we go, but it doesn't matter because I think Ubi's going to be able to kill this base here, doing tons of damage with the look at all these droids. He's got 8 droids here at this base, but he's not going to commit to it here. If he had committed to it and maybe gotten some plant slimes on it, it could have done a ton of damage, but it looks like it's going to take a ton of damage anyway. Shiz able to clear it though with that really nice strong auto attack, leaving the red base at 5 bars here. Well, Ubi is just trying to deal with it here, just dealing with these droids and keeping his droids pushing. Well, Leon is finally back. If we look at these upgrades here, just like one last look before we possibly come into the last encounter of the game, unless Team PlayingToDie can really, really run it back and maybe take down that bottom turret and then rush the back turret to get the win. We've got health and invis duration, as well as all those damage and auto attack upgrades coming up from Ksenia. Solid stuff. We finally have auto attack damage coming up from Rocco. I didn't realize he hadn't bought it until so late, but he's also got quick draw bow and assassin flags in order to get that extra movement speed at chase while doing vengeance. And then from Leon, we've just got damage. We just got damage upgrades. We got double chainsaw add-on. We've got the extra stage of backstab blade, and we have the last stage of spiked tongue piercing, able to give him that extra damage. And from Na, we have rotten teeth, which is a very good upgrade, which is going to increase the damage over time of bite and make it go by faster. Which with the lifesteal is very useful. Like lifesteal on Na is very good, especially if you have that increased DOT on bite, as well as the slow and the pills. So we've got a little more damage from Leon, a little more CC from Na, and then Team PlayingToDie has just got some more sort of luxury upgrades with the exception of Rocco's auto attack damage, which probably should have been bought a bit earlier, but it doesn't matter. Here we got the big initiation of the game. Might be the last one, not too sure, but Jorv is taking a bunch of damage. Ubi is just chasing him with that auto attack, lifesteal. Spade is going to go down though, but Jorv is going to get hit by the plant slime, and now it's just Shiz and Ubi. Shiz does so much damage, but so does Ubi. You cannot underestimate Na. If he gets one good plant slime, he does. He gets on Shiz. He's going to have to back off, but he's got this lifesteal on auto attack here. He's just tempting fate right now with 400 health right now. There's a couple of creeps here. Is he going to go back in? It looks like he's going to go back in for another round with Shiz. Well, Shiz is going to be able to go back to the base and get a bit of health, but he doesn't heal up fully. This might be a mistake. Shiz is going to take a bunch of damage. He's going to take the plant slime. Oh! The plant slime, and the base is going to go down. And that is a win for Team Dave, the Ultimate BM, winning with the team composition with PlayingToDie, or the one that they used before. Amazing.
Well, I think it showed and improved very well. I have to say, I like the builds of Team Dave a lot better than, say, the PlayingToDie. I think the Na build especially was a big improvement. Having this kind of goes to show. This is what, if they wanted to do the Leon Na strat, Team Dave. This is really good for, like, I'm not saying this in any mean way. This is good for learning for PlayingToDie as well, because this just means that, like, if you're gonna go with Leon and Na, now ban Swiggins and or Scoop, preferably both. But PlayingToDie actually banned Scoop themselves, so they probably could have picked him because they would have, but they didn't want to risk Team Dave getting the pick. But then Dave went with the comp that Team PlayingToDie went for, and just showed how it was done. Did the drafts better, did the builds way better, getting that amp damage earlier on, getting that wild growth earlier on, Leon building into the silence right away, banking into that damage, doing what you need to do as those two characters, and they managed to pull the game through at 18 minutes and 30 seconds. Which is, yeah, fairly impressive. And kudos to both teams, because honestly, there was a bit of back and forth, and at one point it looked like Fred was going to come back and destroy all the turrets to really make some pressure. If I could say anything about Ksenia, extra invisibility duration's okay. I think maybe if you went earlier into, say, like a slow scissor, hold down the team a little bit more and just stack up the scissor damage, might have been a little bit better. But otherwise, like effective use of Bobcat and Fury Blowout to really combo the damage, that was quite impressive. And if you have the damage scores up right now, Ksenia almost did the most damage in the game, just shy behind Gnaw with 124,000 damage, whereas Gnaw had 125,000. Rocco sitting at 84,000 and Leon at 103,000. So I think it goes to show you, Gnaw is scary.
Yeah, Gnaw's damage is pretty much the same as Shiz. Just like that's a lot of damage. So you've got Ubi here, you've got a Gnaw with Plant Slam and, you know, amp damage and a little bit of auto attack upgrades and slow and stuff, so just some lockdown. Really, he's only got a couple of damage upgrades, doing the same damage as, like, Ksenia with, like, at least 3, like, damage enforcing upgrades, as well as a ton of auto attack upgrades. And that just goes to show Gnaw is just extremely strong in doubles, and in general, he can still be a solid pick. It's just, you know, stereotypes and whatnot. It's a little hard to get the plant slums because the hitbox is pretty small for it. But either way, well played from Ubi, well played from Team Dave, well played from everybody in this match.
Right, with that would be the second and third, and we will be going on to another one in just a few minutes.